Hey guys, Detector here. So you've probably been wondering where I've been for the past couple of weeks. So Detector and I had a heaping case of the, well, I guess not really like a heaping case, maybe just like a 6-pack. So we were kind of down and out for about 2 weeks. And then it was about a total of 3 weeks before we could just kind of really get back to kind of like our normal routine. And then it was about another week or so before we just kind of felt back to normal. So now that that's all done and over, I'm getting back to metal detecting. I've really missed it, so I'm glad to be jumping back into it. And for today's video, we're gonna be hitting it off with an unboxing. This is the new machine. So we're going to unpack it and see what it is and then put it together and kind of go through all the little ins and outs of this brand new metal detector. So let's go ahead and get to this unboxing. All right, so there has been a lot of talk about this particular machine for the past several months, actually. I know a lot of people were curious to see what this company was going to be putting in this particular machine. So the machine that we're going to be playing with for the next couple of weeks is the Garrett Ace Apex. Woo! This is it. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up this box. So the Ace Apex is a multi-frequency metal detector. This is not 100% waterproof, but that doesn't mean we can't still use it at the beach or in the rivers or on some lakes. Alright, so let's go ahead and crack this guy open. Alright, so already got stuff spilling out, so let's check it out. Ooh, so we've got an Apex hat. So we've got a t-shirt here. And this is like, feels like the sweat wicking material. So again, Florida, super hot. So now this does come with the Viper search coil. I'm interested to try it out. I'm really curious to see how it's going to handle here in Florida in the waters. So we've got a little patch here. This is our warranty paperwork here. This is our bag that has, it looks like probably a charging cable. So these are USB cables here, so I'm guessing this bad boy you can just plug into a USB outlet. You don't have to actually change out batteries. And directions, comes with some info on the headphones. They are Z-Link, so you don't have a wire to worry about. So this is your standard S shape here, and then it's got the box here. Now this is significantly smaller than the boxes that come on the Pro and the Max, the AT Pro and the AT Max. So this is really nice. I feel like this is definitely gonna help when it comes to the weight of the machine. Got our headphone, here's our shaft. There we go, all right. That's nifty and convenient. It's essentially a reusable zip tie. That's like super convenient because I could probably use that to tie up my coil. Or my coil cable, I mean. So here is the Viper coil. So, I mean, it's pretty narrow, which I think would probably come in handy when you're doing like coin shooting and stuff, but it's also long. I do believe this is 10 inches, so you will still be able to cover a significant amount of ground with this coil, even though it's narrower. All right, so these are all the parts of our metal detector. So just having it laid out here on the ground, I can tell you that this is small enough to fit into a backpack. So this is the longest part here, and this only measures 20¼ inches long. So if you have a backpack or a duffel bag or something that is at least 20¼ inches, this will all fit and you can easily pack it up and do some hiking with it, or pack it up and take it out on the boat with you, assuming you're going to be on like a sandbar or an island, because this machine is not completely submersible. You can take it to the beaches, the rivers, the lakes, but you cannot completely submerge it. So this would be super convenient to essentially take with you on all of your outdoor adventures. All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy together. Honestly, it's going to be super simple. This shaft here is completely collapsible, so you can see here the little pressure rivets. So this lower section goes all the way inside, which is nice because that's what helps make it super collapsible so you can take it wherever you want. It has 12 different settings for your length adjustment to make sure that it works for you. And then you can pull it all the way out, and you probably can't even see it on the camera, but it has some pretty significant length on it, which is really good for you taller people. I'm only 5'2", so it's probably gonna only need to come to like, I don't know, here for me. So yeah, let's go ahead and put this together. So I'll go ahead and loosen this up, and this does come completely off, which will be nice when it comes to rinsing it out. Should you happen to like get sand or crud in here, perfect. You don't need any tools for this. You just want to do it hand tight. I mean, you're not going to be using it to like rappel with or anything, so you don't need to crank it down super tight. All right, so I got the washers in, so let's go ahead and attach it there. So that's probably good for now. I can still make adjustments, but it's not going to come off. And then we'll attach our cable. So now this cable isn't significantly long. I mean, obviously it's going to be long enough where if you have the lower shaft extended all the way out, the connection is still going to reach the control unit. But because it's not significantly long, you're not going to have all of these extra inches or feet of cable to contend with, to have to wrap up and secure up top. So that is really nice. So let's have a look at the connection that we're working with. Here's what the bottom of our control box looks like. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I got the shaft sticking out here. So this is where it's going to plug into, but I see something else here. So let me open it. So this is where we're going to be charging it. So that's super nice and convenient. It's right here. And what's this? So we have another connection. I'm guessing this is probably for headphones. I'm not positive because I've not looked at the book yet. That's probably it. And you can see we do have an external speaker here. So obviously if you don't want to use headphones, or if you forgot to charge your headphones, like I know we've all done once or twice, you do have an external speaker here. All right, so let's go ahead and connect our cable. So I'm just gonna pull it out and make sure it's pulled out straight and not kinked or anything. So you just line it up. There is like a little groove, and I know it's probably hard to see, but there's a little groove here on one side of the cable that you just want to line up with the little groove in here. So you just push it in all the way, and then give it a twist. Again, you're going to want to do this finger tight. You don't need tools to crank it down or anything like that. All right guys, so let's go ahead and power on the Apex. Okay, so we already see a couple of things on the screen. So obviously I am inside, so my depth is, well, really nothing's gonna be accurate, but you can see the blinking headphones up here. Now, as I mentioned before, this does come with the Z-Link headphones. So right here, you can see the little headphones flashing. But let's go ahead and look at some of our little buttons here. So right off the bat, this is a power button, but it's also the mode button. Now, this does vary from model to model, so you'll definitely wanna check which version of the Ace Apex you have. Okay, so we'll just move right along with the top buttons here. So you do see that it says notch disc, notch discrimination. So we have the plus and minus signs right here on either side. You can increase it or decrease it. The menu button's right in the middle. This button here will allow you to adjust different things like the sensitivity, the volume, the iron volume, your frequency, a couple of other things using this menu button. The last button over here, this is for your ground balance. So when you do your ground balance, you just hold your button and you pump the coil. Dropping down to the lower level, this button over here is your iron audio. So this is what you'll mess with depending on what kind of targets you're wanting to dig, what you do and don't want to hear. The next one is your pinpoint button. You can also use this button when you're in the menu settings. You can use this button here to exit out of the menu settings, or when you're done adjusting your settings, you can just wait a couple of seconds and it'll automatically exit for you. The last button over here is your accept and reject button. You can use this button to turn on and off different items. So let's say you want to reject all your iron items or some iron items, but not all iron items. You can use this button here to select which ones you want to turn on and off. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the menu and see what our different options are. So just hitting this button once takes you into the menu area, and you see, I didn't touch anything, but it automatically left out. So just a couple of seconds of not doing anything and it'll exit out for you. So you can see your different options. Sensitivity. If you hit it again, the menu button again, it starts dropping down. So we got volume, iron volume, frequency, and channel. And then those are the things that are listed over here. If you hit it again, it gives you the option to do your backlight. So there's your backlight, and then your headphones. So sensitivity, you can hit the plus button to increase it, minus button to decrease it. Same thing with volume, we're at 0, but it can go all the way up to 8. iron frequency can go all the way to 0 and 8. Frequency, so now this is where you can adjust if you want to do, currently it's in a multi-flex 5 or MS for salt. We've also got 5, 10, 15, 20, MF for multi-frequency, and then MS for multi-salt. So those are the different frequency options. And channel is currently in 5. And we have 8 different options in channel, so I'm just going to leave it in 5. For backlight, you can have it on or off. And headphones doesn't do anything when you hit the plus or minus. Okay, and then if you just wait a couple of seconds, it'll exit out of there, or we'll go ahead and just click this, and this exits you out quicker. Okay, so back on the main screen, let's go ahead and toggle our mode button here. So currently it's in coins, and let's look at the different options. So we've got US coins. So now this machine can be used in the United States or internationally. They have actually put in 2 separate programs so that you don't have to buy a completely separate machine, which is really nice. So the next one is jewelry, relics, custom, where you can make your own custom program, 0, and then back into coins. Now you could see some of the settings do change a little bit from different here. So here we go. So from coins to US coins, we lost these 2 little notches here around the 60 range. So let's go down to jewelry. So now we have those 2 notches plus 1 down here by the 40s. Relics, we have even more. Custom, this is where you can make your own changes. 0 has everything. So this is 0 discrimination. You are digging every target. Coins, we drop back into the mid 40s, US coins, and now we're back to essentially where we started. Where we started. Okay, so let's look at what is displayed on the main screen here. So up at the top, when we're swinging over a target, up at the top, you will see a notch that is kind of indicating where about your target is falling. So depending on what you're searching for, if you're searching for coins, your targets will be in the higher range. Relics, your targets will probably be in the lower ranges here. So since it is currently in coins, currently if we swing over any kind of iron targets, because we don't have any accepted iron targets in here, the Apex is going to completely ignore them, so we're not going to hear any kind of tones or any indication that there is an iron signal. If we had iron audio on, it would actually say on here iron audio. Since we don't, it doesn't say that. And it'll be down here in the iron range also. So when you have all of your, essentially if you go into 0 mode, this is where you can turn on your iron audio and then adjust the volume for that. Okay, also on the main screen is your battery level. So the Apex battery, depending on how long you're hunting, should last you for probably about 15 hours. Now again, this would be dependent on things like if you have your backlight on, or also how loud your volume is, things like that. And then in the middle, as you can see, it kind of lights up every now and then because we're inside. So you can see this is where your big target indicator is going to be, right here in the middle with good sized numbers. They're probably about 1 inch tall if I had to guess. This little bar down here is your sensitivity level. So currently we're at 5 and you can go all the way up until 8. Over here on the side, this is where it'll show you your approximate target depth. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the notch discrimination. So I'm going to change it to 0 for now, just so we can play around with all of the notches here. So when you hit the notch disc, either plus or minus, you'll see this little cursor pop up here. So then what you want to do, if you want to eliminate something, then you come down here and hit this button, then you can adjust some more, hit this button, and again hit this button, and then you can notch out the specific items that you don't want, and then to put them back you just put your cursor right over it and hit it again. Okay, so while we're in 0, let's go ahead and turn on our iron audio. There, so when your iron audio is on, it will actually display iron audio right up here. And then you could go into your menu settings here and actually adjust the volume of the iron audio. So this goes all the way from 0 up to 8. There we go. And then once you're done, you can hit this button to exit quickly, or just wait a couple of seconds and it'll exit out for you. There we go. And back to the home screen, and you'll see iron audio there. If you don't want that on anymore, you just hit the iron audio button down here and it'll turn it off for you. I'll go ahead and add a couple of screenshots in here from the Apex manual, just in case you want a little bit more information for some of the different settings, or if you're not quite sure what that setting would be used for. The manual gives you kind of a little blurb on what each item is or what it's used for, so that'll be helpful if you're not really sure. Alright guys, so since this video is already pretty long, just doing the unboxing and showing all of the different settings on the Apex, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, and then next week what I'll do is I'll actually be taking the Apex to a local beach here in Florida and do some hunting with it in the salt water, and then also like in the wet-ish areas and then in the dry sandy areas, and see how it performs here in Florida. So far I'm really liking the Apex. It's small and compact, it's very light, and I'm really excited to see what the Viper coil is going to be able to do in the salt water. If you're liking what you're seeing from the Apex so far, go ahead and hit this video with a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel yet, please make sure you do so by hitting the subscribe button. This way, when I post the video of actually hunting with the Apex next week, you'll get the notification that the new video is up and ready for you to watch. A big thanks to Garrett Metal Detectors for sending me the Ace Apex to test out here in Florida. I know there's a lot of dirt hunters out there who have been using the Apex, but not a whole lot of saltwater hunters. So hopefully I can show you guys what this machine can do and answer all your questions that you have about it in saltwater environments. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys later.